Hi, this is Yoshio and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. It's time for another mod, and this is a much requested mod. Every now and then I'll get someone asking me to cover this one. This is the Freefall. It's got a bit of a strange history, this mod. It was kind of like started by one developer who kind of, they kind of stopped it. Maybe something came up in their life or whatever. They kind of moved on. And then somebody else took up the rest of what was left and finished it off. So now we can hopefully see what is going to go on. Here we go, it's the end of the credits. What happens in the Freefall? After Adeen's good ending. What are you going to do now? For the time being, I suppose I'll be stuck in this world. Just losing the connection to humanity's portal. How's it even possible? I don't know, maybe we'll never be able to re-establish contact. No matter what happens, you'll always be welcome here. You put your life on the line to save us, and it cost your colleague his life. Reza was never my colleague. Then what was he exactly? Maybe it's better if humanity never finds out what happened. Oh well. By the way, I'm glad you're here now, and I think Amelie would appreciate it too. You think so? I'm sure of it. The people from the orphanage should be here any minute now. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. Have you ever babysat before? Not a dragon, that's for sure. Don't worry, I'll be here with you the whole time, but you'll have to be very careful, alright? Of course. I guess it's time. You ready? I think so. And so began what I figured would be the remainder of my life. Just another me, trapped forever in the timeline, where I in the end had failed my mission. It was a strange thought, but time travel had its quirks. Did any of my other iterations come to such an end? I had vague memories, but none of them felt concrete. I hope they are okay. After all, they were my other selves I was talking about. My leg, still wounded from the bullet Reza had left me with, rendered me unable to perform any rigorous movements while it healed. It had left me with plenty of time to think. The dragons heralded me as a saviour for my efforts in diverting the asteroid. Well, those who knew what had transpired did. It was agreed that it was probably for the best that the whole world did not make an uproar of the narrowly avoided cataclysm, for now at least. Neither Adeen nor I wished for that kind of attention, and yet I felt a bitterness inside. I couldn't help but grieve for the humans I'd left behind, doomed to slowly fade away in a miserable, dark existence. Despite his poor choices of actions, Reza had tried his hardest to bring back the hope that they'd all needed. I'd smashed that hope for them. And while I was sure in another time my other selves would eventually find a solution that satisfied everyone, in this time the human race had lost its final chance. That thought didn't sit well with me at all. Humanity is dead and doomed, gone. Hello, doorbell just went. However, there were a few things that helped distract me. Come in. And how did you guess it was me, huh? Your reliability among your other virtues. It was lucky guess. And what luck it was. Wouldn't it have been awkward if it had been the male dragon instead? Indeed it would have been, although I'm not expecting any mail. I sat up and folded the book I was reading open on the table as Adeen walked in carrying a food parcel. Thanks, Adeen. Your help means a lot. You're welcome. Adeen placed the parcel upon the table and pushed her goggles to her forehead. I couldn't just let you wither away here, could I? Well, I don't know about withering, but things would sure be a lot less manageable right now without you. Well, I'm glad I have the opportunity to help. It's honestly the least I can do. While my injured leg was still on the mend, Adeen had taken it upon herself to regularly bring food around. Getting up and around the apartment on my own was something I could manage, but going anywhere was a challenge. Bullet wounds, I learned, were nastily painful and took a while to heal. So much for all those movie protagonists brushing them off like minor inconveniences. Anyway, how's work? Oh, actually, as it happens, you're my last delivery for the day, again. The restaurant was unusually slow today, so I got let off early. Slow for any particular reason? I don't think so. I guess it's just one of those days. Well, having the rest of the day off sounds nice. That might be true, but honestly, I think I prefer the money right now. You know how it is. You don't get paid for hours. You don't work, after all, you know? Well, if you don't have anywhere else to be for a while, would you like to stay for a bit? I could really do with some company. You read my mind. I'd love to. I guess I do have some time to burn before I have to look after Amelie. Adeen promptly flopped herself onto the remaining space of the sofa that I was sat on. Oh, please, make yourself at home, why don't you? Oh, how kind. Thanks for the gracious invitation. Adeen shut her eyes as she stretched and spread her wings, working out the kinks and stiff muscles from flying all morning. Though this was not the first chance I've had, I still caught myself admiring her impressive physique while she was preoccupied. Her arms that supported her colourful scaled wings were lean, yet toned and slightly muscular, a healthy result of her lifestyle and rigorous training regimen, no doubt. Though they were hard to see when her wings were folded up. Her long, powerful tail was curled between the small space dividing us, dangerously prone to performing small, adorable wiggles. And, as I'd found out, fending off would-be tickle assailants. I averted my stare moments before her eyes returned to me. So, do enlighten me. What book do you have your nose between at the moment? Oh, nothing really. I was just thumbing through a few pages of... She spied the book I'd left upon the table. Oh my. Draconic Desire. Oh, you rogue. I hadn't pegged you for the salt. Maybe I shouldn't have left that there. Okay. I was curious. Well, there's no need to be ashamed about that. Who says I am? Your face is bright red. She was right. I could feel my cheeks burning. What exactly was it you're curious about, though? Dragon courtship, maybe? Oh my. Though, I feel some curiosity myself now. Why the interest? I wanted to know how different it would be to human rituals. What did you find? Well, there are a few variations, mostly due to the obvious physical differences. Even something as simple as having tails can make for some intimate shows of affection. Well, you'd definitely be right about that. Tails are known to have their fair share of sensitive spots. Though, if I recall, you probably didn't need a book to work that out, huh? My newfound knowledge makes me hope that you didn't find that awkward. No, it's okay. You didn't know. Besides, I did ask for it after all. It was, nice. Her tail in question, which once lay dormant beside me, gave a small flick to rub against my leg. Anyway, aside from those details though, our races seem to have pretty similar ideas concerning romance. Well, that is interesting. I hope this new knowledge proves useful to you. Her tail gives me another sly stroke. I hoped she couldn't see me blushing again. What about you though? I mean, have you read it for yourself? As a matter of fact, I have. What did you think? Did you like it? Well, I'd say I did, and leave it at that for now. Oh, come on, why the hesitation? Let's just say I might have had a bit of a soft spot for sappy romance novels, along with magazines of dubious quality. Not quite in the same way. Anyway, what chapter are you up to? Before I could react, she leaned over and swiped the book from the table with a playful grin. Hey, come on, cut it out. Finders, keepers. Oh, doorbell's rung again. Who did this? We both stopped, our attention now fixated on the door. I began to stand up, but Adeen gently laid a single claw upon my chest and pushed me back down. Relax, I'll get this. Thanks. Who is at the door, though? Hello? Ah, it's Lorem. Good afternoon, Ush. Adeen? Well, good afternoon to you, Lorem. Adeen looked back at me, still holding the door. What was that about not expecting mail? Well, I do love having my expectations subverted. I leaned and waved out the door to a slightly confused male dragon. Hey Lorem, how's it going? Oh, you are here. That's a relief. Well, so far there's nothing to complain about. How about yourself? Oh, and you as well, Adeen. Things are pretty good with me, thanks for asking. Yeah, aside from the bullet hole in my leg, things are pretty calm here too. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that. Oh, don't be. As far as I'm concerned, this was probably one of the better outcomes of the incident for sure. I guess you're right about that. I'm glad to see that you're keeping a positive outlook. Well, as positive as I can muster anyway. Okay, I've got a letter for you though. I believe it's from Minister Emra. Can't wait. Lorem produced a sealed envelope from his satchel and handed it to Adeen. Thanks, Lorem. No problem. Anyway, I'd love to stay and talk about the progress of the game, but I'm afraid I've still got a ton of things to deliver. Hey, no problem. We can always catch up later when you're not busy. I'd really like that. Anyway, take care. I hope your leg gets better soon. See you around, Lorem. Laters. And away they go. I didn't know you two knew each other. Well, we often pass by each other while doing our rounds. In a small town like this, it would be hard for us not to at least a few times a week. I think he's nice enough though. Agreed. Adeen walked across the room and glided back onto the couch where she was seated previously. Well, I suppose you'd better see what the council wants from you. She handed me the envelope. Lorema's right. It looked as if it was sent to you by Emera herself. I gripped the letter in my hands. I was fairly certain I knew what this was going to be about. It was only a matter of time after all. I guess I'll open it. I tore open the top of the envelope and pulled the folded letter out from the inside. It was printed on some formal template. Dear Ushio, please accept my deepest of condolences for your injury. I hope the recovery is progressing smoothly. However, we have some important matters to discuss with you concerning your future living situation here. Please visit my office when you're next available. Best regards, Emera, Minister of Culture and Arts. Okay, anything wrong? Well, yes and no, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I know what this is about. Any trouble? Nothing I wasn't expecting, really. It's probably about time they decided what they were going to do with me. Do with you? You're not expecting them just to drop you on the roadside after what you did for all of us, are you? Of course not. Not even humans would do something that cruel, wouldn't they? It's just, aside, I might as well get this off my chest. Hopefully, Adeen would understand. Not really sure how to put this. Give it a go. I'm listening. I can't help but think about the significance of this. It's not just about me. What do you mean? Being here is no longer going to be about my mission as an ambassador or anything of the sort. It's going back to an ordinary life again. It's a chance that a few weeks ago I could have only dreamed about. What's so wrong about that? A chance that any remaining human could only dream about. Oh, I think I understand what you're getting at. Reza and I, along with the discovery of the working portal, were probably the last two sparks of hope everyone had for something better, or at least something normal. Now, neither of them are coming back. The whole human populace is forced to live in depression, while I get to live a comparatively idyllic life. Actually, it's not even a comparison. Everything here is leagues better than everything we had left back home. It feels wrong. It feels like it's selfish. I agree, it is a shame that it has to be this way for them. But what happened was a result of the circumstances, not necessarily because of your own intentions. There's nothing anyone here can do about it now. I know, but that's what makes me feel the worst. I had the opportunity to do something about it. It was even my responsibility. And I've abandoned them. Do you wish that you'd been able to save your home instead of us? It's not really a choice between one or the other. I'm really glad we were able to divert the asteroid. I really am. I know I would have felt the same way if it had been that other way round. You tried your hardest, dude. I'm sure that's all anyone could have asked of you. I know, but I still feel that maybe if I'd done some things differently, perhaps it could have ended the way everyone wanted. Maybe. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough. I didn't want to show my deteriorating emotions in front of Adeen, but after all the time I'd spent thinking about it, concealing them was getting difficult. It must have been noticeable though. Adeen shuffled a bit closer and wrapped her wings around my torso, putting me into a comforting hug. She gently rests the side of her head against my chest. You're a good person. Even after all you did, you still wish that you could have done more. I'm sure that if your people back home knew of the circumstances, they'd understand. Thinking about all the things that you could have done isn't going to help anyone now. You can't hold the whole universe on your back. If anybody deserves to live a happy life after everything that's happened, it would be you, and definitely not Reza or anybody else like him. Adeen's wings tightened around me a little bit more, and she gave my chest a small nuzzle with her nose. I'm really happy it was you in the end. I wrapped my arms around Adeen, returning the hug. Thanks, Adeen. Somehow, you know just what to say. Feeling a bit better now? Yeah, a little actually. I think I really needed that. I'm glad. It's something that's been weighing me down for a while. It's nice to talk to somebody about it. You're always welcome to get things out of your head with me, anytime. As are you, Adeen. You know, it probably doesn't need to be said, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm really, really glad that you were here to help us. Without you, I guess we'd all have been destroyed. Without us, Adeen, you were just as much as help as I was. Oh come on, what did I really do? Lead Maverick around to the back door? Some heroic stunt that was. Even the most unremarkable decisions can have significant results. Without your quick thinking, things could have gone... yeah, real bad. Much, much worse. We've seen the bad ending. And we know what that looks like. Adeen getting shot. Maverick getting killed. All bad things. The vision came flooding back into my mind, unbidden and unwelcome. I wasn't quite sure what I saw. Was it a memory from another timeline? There was one thing I knew for certain. The vivid imagery of Adeen's crying, bleeding figure truly horrified me. Reza, I'd have killed you again if I could. Hey, are you feeling okay? You spaced out there for a minute. I grit my teeth. I wasn't going to tear up again, not after Adeen had done her best to comfort me already. It was just a bit of transdimensional PTSD. It's fine. She didn't need to know. Yeah, I'm fine. Just some terrible thoughts, that's all. Adeen relaxed her grip on me and brought her muzzle up to give my cheek a tiny lick. Don't pay them any mind, it's just in your head. Thanks, Adeen, for your emotional support. Oh, there's no need really. It's just what good friends are for. Friends? Maybe we should talk about something else. Something less somber. Like what? Like how your food's getting cold? Oh damn, I might have totally forgotten about that. So I noticed. We both relinquished each other from our wings and arms. You'd better eat. You can't get that leg of yours fixed without food. And I'd better go soon actually. I'm needed to go look after Amelie and some of the other kids for a while. How's she doing since I last helped look after her? Well, she is healthy at any rate, and happy enough. Though I wish more could be done about her adoption problem. Something good will be done about her soon, I'm sure of it. Have a little faith. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, I'd better get going. Are you sure you're going to be okay here by yourself? Always have, always will be. Unless the microwave explodes, then I might have a small problem. Yeah, you probably would, goofball. Anyway, I'll see you later. You too, Adeen. Have a good night. And off she goes. The apartment grew quiet once more. It almost felt unnatural. Oh well, I suppose I'd better heat this food up. It's good that Adeen chatted with us and helped us feel better about how things are. That night, the otherworldly dreams returned once more. Vivid and lifelike, the images tore at my sleeping soul. I saw events that were strangely familiar, yet impossible for me to have seen. People I don't know, conversations I never had. Time, it seems, had not finished tormenting me just yet. Morning again. I threw off the covers and swung my legs over the side of the bed. I gave my injured leg a tentative pressure test. The pain, or lack thereof, inspired some hope. Okay, seems promising enough. I eagerly rose to my feet, giving a few ginger steps. Hey, this isn't so... Ah! Okay, maybe not so hard. Well, I kind of expected that. Better, but not completely. Walking would be a little easier today, though. And so began my usual routine from the past few days, changing bandages for fresh ones, getting dressed, and taking painkillers with breakfast. However, it was going to be hard to ignore the elephant in the room, or rather, the one sitting on the living room table. Emra's invitation to discuss important matters still bounced around in my head. Well, no point in putting off the inevitable, I suppose. It was a beautiful day outside. The sun was shining, the birds were singing. It was unfortunate that on days like this, people like me should be doomed to suffer bureaucratic nightmares. Might as well be hell. I strode into the large office building at the end of the courtyard. The dragonbug at the reception desk was nice enough to give me directions to Emra's office again, but not before stammering out their sheepish admiration and thanks for me for saving the planet. The recognition, I realised, would be something I'd have to get used to. Standing in front of Emira's door, I gave it a solid knock. Hello, hello. Enter. Okay, here we go. Emira, what are you going to do to us? Oh, morning. Wonderful timing. I assume that you're indeed here, as per my behest. Well, given my current condition, casual visits have been severely reduced. That'd be a yes then. How's your wound recovering? Better every day. Walking's becoming a bit more manageable. It's nice to hear. Do you perhaps have any inclination as to what we shall be discussing? I got some idea, yeah, but it would be preferable if I were to have the full explanation. Very well then. I shall begin by saying that the Council has been in discussion for the past few days regarding your situation. We should probably start by getting the obvious out of the way. Considering the current state of the portal, the lack of means to rectify its functionality, and complete inability to contact the human race, I'm afraid to say that your services as ambassador are no longer required. As such, the Council can no longer see the privileges related to the position as justifiable. Well, I expected as much, considering the circumstances. I'm glad that this does not come as a surprise to you. I hope that you understand that this has nothing to do with you personally, it's just simply not affordable to cover such expenses anymore. For what it's worth, you do have my sincerest condolences for the situation you've been left in. I'll survive. Yes, humans do seem to be rather resilient. It's a shame our interactions had to be cut so short. Anyway, in spite of the financial circumstances, we've all agreed it would be unforgivable to leave you without any form of support. Especially not after all you've done for us, it simply wouldn't do. So the least we could do as thanks would be to give you permanent ownership of the apartment you currently reside in, along with all of its contents. I think we could also manage to have some of your utility fees subsidised, if that's acceptable. It's more than acceptable, it's actually better than what I was expecting. Curious, if I may ask, what were you expecting? I suppose that I'll be moved into a smaller flat somewhere, along with a commemorative plaque to remember me by. Not that I would have minded, however. Anything of the sort would have been better than what I had back home. Well, I'm glad that this arrangement pleases you. Though, you'll find that there will be no shortage of commemorative plaques. We couldn't possibly let such an important figure such as yourself be forgotten with time. However, you do understand that this means you'll have to finance your own living expenses from here on. I do. I don't mind finding a job. It's just another part of life after all. Besides, you know what they say about idle hands and all that. Not sure I do, but regardless, I may be able to provide further assistance regarding this matter. We're going to get a job? About employment? Yeah, tell me. Indeed, as you're aware, through his actions, Reza left a number of, openings in his wake. Wow, there's some vacancies from all these dead people. Perhaps some of them may be of interest to you. If you wish, I could put in a good word for you. I'm not sure how I'd feel about taking the jobs of the recently deceased, considering the circumstances of their deaths after all. Well, it's entirely up to you, of course. Work's work after all. You're free to pursue your own means of creating a living, if that's what you desire. What are the openings you had in mind? Do you remember the manager of the production facility, Anna? Well, she now finds herself a short one assistant, and I think we could comfortably fit you in. It's noted that you're something of a scientist yourself. I'm sure you could prove yourself useful in the field you studied once more. And since Anna might be as well be a certified genius, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities to learn from someone of such skill. If you don't mind her temperament, that is. Well, have I piqued your interest? I think working with Anna sounds like it would be interesting. Very well. I shall have a message sent to the production facility informing them of your decision. Hopefully this arrangement will be of benefit to everyone. I hope so too. Well, that just leaves one more matter to attend to. Okay, what's that? Though I hesitate to ask. Why, the issue of your residency papers and other legal documents, of course. Oh, joy. I hope you didn't expect to be leaving without performing your fair share of bureaucracy, did you? If this is anything like I remember human paperwork being... Don't worry, what was it you said earlier? You'll survive. Okay, we're going to become a resident. Completing the required administration took up the whole remainder of the morning, and a better part of the afternoon as well. As expected, dragon paperwork wasn't quite suited for immigrants from different worlds, and even less for non-dragon ones. The medical forms were a particular nuisance to deal with. I bounced around various departments, jumped through various hoops, and suffered through endless legalese. It sure reminded me of home. After I finished delivering every other form to their respective authorities, I made my way back to Emma's office with the few final pieces of legal literature. Ah, there you are. Goodness, you look a little worn out. How many laps did they make you run? Too many. Also, bullet wound to the leg? I hope it wasn't too hard on your injury. I pushed through it, after a while. Glad to hear it. Anyway, while you were busy, I received a reply from Anna. It seems she'd like to discuss some things with you regarding your employment. I hope you have time for one more visit today. Anything to get out of this place and never return. That's the spirit. I shall see you some other time, perhaps. Bye for now, Minister. So Anna is going to tell us what she wants for this job. By the time I reached the production facility, it was already late afternoon. I passed many other workers heading home for the day as I made my way down the hall toward Anna's lab. I was getting used to the occasional strange look. Perhaps soon enough I could walk down this hall and not a single dragon would bat an eyelid. However, some alarming voices further down interrupted my musings. Get out! Just leave. What was going on? From the door to Anna's lab, Bryce hastily scuttled out. She's so lucky that one didn't hit me. Bryce, what's going on? Hey, what are you doing here? I'd asked the same, but what's with the yelling and the smashing? If you're here to visit Anna, perhaps now isn't the greatest time? Why? What happened? Not really at liberty to discuss that with anybody but her, unfortunately. But if you insist on talking with her, could you try to calm her down a little bit? I know that sounds like a big ask, but she needs to know that it's not the end of the world. You'll have to get the further details from her. Sorry. Okay. Great, I'll see you around. Anna, what's going on? Knock in. What? Change your mind already, you... I turned to leave, still swimming with confusion. However, from the other side of the door, I heard a slow sliding sound upon it, as if something dropped to the ground. A ragged, heavy breathing. Wait, has Anna collapsed? Let's stay. I shouldn't just leave Anna like this. I too decided to sit down on the floor, outside the door to Anna's lab, resting my back against the frame. For a time, I just listened to her slow, fragmented breathing. It sounded as if she was trying her hardest not to cry. Occasionally, she sniffled too. I know you're still there. And I know that you know. I thought I told you to go. I came to help, Anna. Doesn't necessarily have to be about work. So what, you gonna sit outside my door, listen to me break down and call it helping? I can listen to something, if you feel like you want to talk. I'll stay here and wait, if you still need time. Don't you have anything better to do? It's not about having anything better to do. I got served. You probably saw Bryce just leave. A court summoning? What for? Have you done something wrong? I heard a small, irony-filled scoff escape her. Wrong. Sure, let's call it wrong. That's what they're gonna say. It is after all. It's a long story. They usually are. We've got time, don't we? Guess we do. You may as well come in then. Why don't you start from the beginning? I'm dying. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Not anymore. Anna recounted the events leading up to her prosecution. She told me in vague detail about the illegal experimentation she'd been doing in an attempt to find a cure for an incurable illness, an illness that she contracted herself, and about how she got caught with it all and the conditions she'd been given as punishment, how she'd broken them, and Damien conspiring to divulge her secrets, and that with his death, his blackmailed evidence had been found. So, because of the blood you took from me, as well as the samples you gathered from Reza, yeah, because of that, I'll probably be spending the remainder of my short, miserable life in the slam. Because it's just so wrong that I borrowed a little of this and that from our oh so important guests to try and save not only my own life but thousands of potential others as well. When's your hearing set for? Tomorrow morning, if you can even believe it. It's honestly like they have nothing better to do but to amuse themselves by stomping all over my tragic life. Bryce said to tell you that it's not the end of the world. What the hell does he know? For me, it may as well be. Maybe you might get let off easy? Oh please, I may as well hope that my illness just up and vanishes too for all the good it brings. The whole damn town despises me because of stupid rumours, and the council sabotages me at every whim. They probably only gave me reign of this facility because they knew I'd eventually be tempted to break my terms. And of course, I played right into their hands because I had no other choice. I don't expect any kind of sympathy from this rotten circle jerk. Well, you haven't been arrested yet at least. Probably because they know I've got nowhere else to go. Everything I care about is right here in this lab, or what's left of my apartment. I'd just be as screwed if I ran. At least the trial leaves me with some dignity. Actually, if I wanted dignity, I'd drink a beaker of methanol and end it on my own damn terms. I seriously hope you're not considering that, Anna. It was hyperbole. There's still a chance things will end up okay. Sure, things seem stacked up against you right now, but maybe there's a reason for what Bryce said. Even from what little he spoke, it didn't seem as if he thought of you as some kind of heinous criminal. Even with you throwing things at him. I'm not stupid. I didn't throw anything at him. I'm not about to throw away my one remaining afternoon by having a tantrum and ending up with assault charges. If I did, however, you could bet it would be the fridge. I've seen the meme, I know the reference. That would certainly be a sight. How long do you think he'd serve? No idea, but they were pretty pissed the last time I was brought in. I've not exactly done much to improve anybody's attitude since. But honestly, I think all it would take is a few months at most. Is it really that bad? Yeah, it is. I've been working day in and day out to try to find something that would help me in time. Not that any of this matters now, I suppose. My life is done. I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like there's going to be anything left for you here by tomorrow. It's probably best you just leave now and don't look back. I'm sure you'll be able to figure something else out. There's nothing I can do to help. Well, the only thing left for me to do now is compile what little good my research was into some reasonably meaningful reports. I might be bitter and resentful and pretty much hate everybody else at this point, but I'm not about to let my hard work be thrown into the ether. Maybe it might help someone who deserves it one day. Who knows? I can help you with that if you like. Thanks for the offer, but I think it's something I'd rather do by myself. Nothing personal. There's a lot to it, and you probably have a hard time understanding it all. Alright. But thanks for keeping me company for a little bit though. Take care of yourself, Ushio. I hope you have a good life. You too, Anna, for whatever saying it is worth. I turned to leave Anna's lab, stepping over the broken remains of the beakers and other equipment she'd broken out of frustration. You know what? After these reports are done, maybe I'll just go for a walk. It's probably the last opportunity I'll get to see the outside world. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope so too. Oh man, that is rough. But that's a bit of a downer. But I think we're going to have to leave this one here, and we're going to see how peaceful our mind is going to be in the next episode. This is Ushio signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.